They're asking for you, Mitt. They want you to be in out the door too, along with Rex and Steve, who's already waiting down there. Yeah, you want to go out too. I know it. You want to go out? Do you want to go out, Rex? You think he wants to go out? We got some explaining to do. It's 37 degrees at 8:30. It was colder than this when we went to sleep last night. What happened? Why did the temperature go up last night? Remember 24 hours ago it was 32 degrees and snowing. Hey, there's the Coast Guard. It's a buoy tender way out there. You never know when you're going to go out the door, weather and more. Well, the clouds have something to do with it. That's one of the reasons it's cold, warmer this morning. Clouds tend to prevent radiational cooling, but it's more than that. There's a breeze from the west and the southwest, and there's a cold front in northern New England. I have this old saying, the day of the front is the warmest day. If it's a cold front, because warmer air sucks up to the south side of a cold front. And if it's a warm front, it's the coldest day, because the cold air sucks up to the north side of the warm front. Yesterday was almost like a warm front. That was a pretty day by afternoon. The temperature got to about 42 degrees. Today, technically, it's a colder air mass. We have CAA, cold air advection, to the tune of wind gusting to 97 miles per hour on Mount Washington this morning. Advection is air that's moving. We also have FroPa, frontal passage, in northern New England, where it's been snowing all night at J Peak, 5 inches of fresh this morning, just like they said in the forecast from last Friday, written on a catamaran in the tropics. I'm doing a fresh J Peak blog this morning, and it's really not the best news. Immediately, it's much colder air coming into New England. I call it low barometer cold when it's colder up the top of Mount Washington, 1 below zero, than it is in the lower elevations. Matter of fact, this morning, if you saw me on Twitter, kind of lamenting the fact that it was actually colder on the beaches in North Carolina than it was in the Berkshires. Just amazing. But there is colder air to our north, and that is coming in. So we get a little thaw last night, and then a nice freeze tonight and tomorrow night. It's going to be a high pressure system coming into southeastern Canada the next 2 days. But then all that energy coming into the west coast. Look at the watches and warnings in Sacramento this morning. Worse than yesterday. Flooding. Close to 8 inches of rain just below the snow level, which was up around 7,000 feet, with severe thunderstorms moving into the Sierra Nevada range this morning. So severe thunder snow.
It's not too often you can travel just 50 miles and go from a severe thunderstorm to this heavy snowfall slamming into the Sierra. This is Donner Pass, Soda Springs, and this is one of repeated atmospheric river events, and you can see from this cut how much snow has fallen here in the Sierra so far this season. We're sitting at around 200% or so of the season average, and we're just in January.
The Sierra Snow Lab will update this graph. Now passing 265 inches of snow for the season. An anomalously snowy winter in the Sierra Nevada. We are getting the opposite of that, with only 14 inches of snow at the stake on Mount Mansfield, probably up to 16 after last night. Waves in the atmosphere, trough in the west, ridge in the east. We're gonna briefly dent the ridge here with some colder air for the next 2 days. That system coming across the nation from California is gonna tend to weaken in the middle of the nation, but it's certainly not disappearing. It's actually going to start to strengthen again and then run up to our west. So as it comes in on Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning, it runs into cold air. So initially it will be snowing in our mountains on Wednesday night, Thursday. The warm front may be slow to get north, but it is going to get north to Montreal, north just to about Caribou, Maine. That means a line of rain crossing almost all of New England. maybe Mount Katahdin and points north stays snow. And there may even be a thunderstorm. Look at the Boston 14-day. You see that spike. Yesterday it showed 51 on Friday. Now it's up to 54. Talk about waves. You see the wave down here initially, then up to that Friday, and then back down over the weekend. Still a chance that some precipitation comes in the form of snow in parts of southern New England late Saturday and Sunday, but that second wave of energy the models had for Sunday seems to have eased to the east and weakened, but there is upper level cold air coming in, so it will turn snowy in our mountains here probably Saturday into Sunday. As for coast to coast snowfall, Sierra Nevada remains pegged, and then you get this little strip coming across, and northern Maine may end up with a nice net gain of snow here over the next week. But for most of us, looks like about a ½ inch to an inch of rain coming in Friday before it gets colder again. And remember what happened in November? It was so warm, it was near 80, the first weekend, second weekend in November, and then by Thanksgiving it was just freezing. And then a similar thing happened in December where it was fairly mild, and then all of a sudden around the solstice we had all-time chill all the way down to Mississippi. And we had a cold week and a half here. And then maybe January does the same thing. Warm start to January. The waves are always shifting, and I would anticipate it can't get much warmer. Next week does still look pretty warm, relatively speaking, as it's the heart of winter here. The climatological coldest weather of the year occurs in the middle of January. For us, though, it may happen the second half of January. Still a long way to go in wintertime, so I'm not writing it off, even though I was pretty disappointed looking for where I love to go ice skating here. Hold on. Don't go on that ice. T-Rex, what do you think? Can we find some ice? Talk to you tomorrow. T-Rex, you want to check the ice? Yeah, let's go check the ice. It's January 9th. Ice should be pretty good, huh? This is where we go skating in January. Whitman's Pond. Only need about another 2.5 inches of ice and we'll be skating before you know it. Swan has no problem with this. Maybe we can find a puddle somewhere. Well, at least the water level is higher. It was way down there when we were checking in the summertime. Give it another try. Try a puddle. Over towards the sun. What do you see? You see any ducks in here? Not quite ready, is it? Maybe Thursday morning before the next January thaw begins. We'll come back and check it out here at Legion Field. This was the first place I saw people skating last year. Cattails means it's fresh water. What do you think, Rex, about this water right here? Let's see. Looks like we only have about another couple inches to go. Where are you going, Rex? Good winter for soccer and lacrosse. Anyway, they get that going for us. No dogs in the field, Rex. Come on. New seeds are in. You gonna start your garden this week? Why not?